Hey everyone, this is Ronin Ros, here with another Legendary Game of Heroes video. This video is for an advanced strategy in Guild Wars for fire attacker teams. So this is the current fire attacking team that I use, and the cards in the deck are the Despots of Despair Ultimate Form, two of the Rodash the Brutalizer cards, Sergeant Sausage, and Wesson Hardened Chief. So those last two are also Master Collection cards. I have actually a 2-star version of the Hellheart Reliquary, the Big Bad Bomb Relic, and then 2 Ashen Adores, and very importantly I have a 3-star version of the Twin Katanas, which is the Fire Generation 2 Guild War Relic. So the Twin Katanas is absolutely necessary for this kind of deck to defeat a strong opponent, and I'll show you why in a moment. So let's just hop into this battle here. I'm fighting Angel 111, who is a friend of mine. So the Despots of Despair and Rodash the Brutalizer, they make a lot of passive gems, which help ensure that you'll be able to basically cruise through any first turn Warden. So that's usually a good way to, when you're planning out kind of what you're going to do in the battle, just know that when you have those cards, that you'll be able to knock out the first Warden. So you're really just planning for the next 4. So here, Sergeant Sausage isn't active yet, but because he makes 8 power gems, I'm only going to need I'm only going to need Rodash for that turn where I can use him, which is the next turn. So on this turn, actually, I'm going to use the other Rodash. I'm going to use Despots of Despair and Wesson, who's a critical part of this strategy, because he makes 5 power gems, 5 regular gems, and he has a 1-turn cooldown, so I can use them every single turn, and I will be using him every single turn. So here I'm just doing a brief look at the board to make sure that I'm going to be able to match all the gems on the board. Okay, so I did miss one, but it's actually still plenty of damage. So now on this turn I'm going to be able to use Sergeant Sausage, which is very important for this team because even though the nuke cards of the Despots of Despair deck are really great, they don't make a lot of number of gems, and you do need a lot of gems to be able to trigger the relics. And then you also need powerful gems, so power gem 4s, to be able to do a lot of damage. Luckily, here, I have the 50 skill points because I have those Fire Slayer relics. So I'm going to be able to use Rodash and Sergeant Sausage, which already makes plenty, and just because I can, I'm going to use Wesson again. So actually in this case, when you have a situation like this, I don't try to match all the gems because I already know I have plenty of gems to do damage. You saw in the last turn I didn't have nearly as many, and I still was able to do damage. So here I'm actually going to try to preserve some gems. So like this Power Gem 3 in the left lower corner, I can keep. This Power Gem 4, that's 2 above it right here, that's not going to get used, so that will probably stay alive. And then the top and the 3 in the top right corner, they probably won't get used. Obviously when things drop, things can change. So actually, in this situation, I don't want to do a gem match where I take a power gem and match it against another power gem, because that will force all the gems on the board to be used, and I don't want that because I want some gems to stay for the next turn. So I'm just going to do a simple match where I just move 1 gem into a position that will activate the rest of them. So I can use actually this regular power gem here and activate all those power gems and let the rest of them stay on the board. And actually none of those other ones that I mentioned were used. So I'm actually starting this match, or this next one, with 5 additional power gems. For this opponent, it's not necessary, but sometimes you could be in a situation where that's true. So whenever possible, if you have a lot of gems on the board and you already have enough to destroy the Warden, try to make it so that some of the gems will survive to the next turn, giving you an easier opportunity to win that battle. So here, same thing as before, I'm just going to use Rodash first, and then Despots of Despair. I use Despots second because he makes additional Power Gem 2s, and I don't want the Power Gem 4s from Rodash to go on top of those 2s, which sometimes happens, and that's kind of a waste. I want the maximum quantity of gems so that I can trigger the relics. So again, here we're in the same situation, but here I don't have as many choices because they're so spread out, and they're actually in a very good pattern where they're pretty much all going to be used except for maybe this Power Gem 4 on the left side. So again, I'm just going to make a simple match and let that happen. Now with this Despots of Despair deck, like all the nuke decks, on the last Warden, all the passes will activate. So each of these 3 cards makes a lot of passive power gems, and they just all activated. And so the last Warden actually becomes a very easy Warden because of that. So I just activated Rodash, do Wesson, and this is the last Warden. So easily just match all the cards, and that quickly destroys your opponent. So this is a great deck. You do need Wesson. You don't need 2 Rodashes. So you need Wesson because he's able to be used every turn. He makes 5 regular gems, and he helps you get over that hump of the 12 gems to trigger the relics, and that's why he's essential. You don't need 2 Rodashes. In fact, one of the Rodashes could be the Dragoon version, so that would give you more attack. It's just that it will help you if you have difficulty defeating the first Warden. That would be one reason to have a second Rodash or the Fire Dragoon version that's going to be like that. You definitely need Sergeant Sausage for this to be a pretty viable strategy because he makes a lot of power gems, and if I didn't have him, I wouldn't have been able to make enough gems with just 1 Rodash on the turn where the Despots of Despair was on cooldown. You can use turn delay, but then you're not going to be able to have as strong of a first attack, and there's going to be a lot of other wardens that are going to be troublesome when you use turn delay. So in this strategy, it uses no turn delay, so I don't have to worry about that, but it does require Wesson and Sergeant Sausage and an additional Rodash. So your choice, you can choose to do a Fire Dragoon that has the ability of Sergeant Sausage, like the Puppet Master one, or to do the Troll Dragoon, which has the ability of Rodash the Brutalizer if you already have a Sergeant Sausage. And again, try to acquire the Twin Katanas, the 3-star version. That's also essential for the strategy by helping you make more gems. Some of the Wardens wouldn't be able to be destroyed without that 3-star Katana. So hopefully you found this informational. If you have any comments or suggestions or questions, you can leave them below in the video. You can give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content, and I'll try to make some more. Otherwise, this is Ronin Ros, and thank you for watching my video.